Hi, my name is Rob Dempsey. I was a manager in Woodstock back in 1991, and then was a district manager for Student Works the next two summer. Great experience. Um, Presently, I'm in the insurance industry. I'm a commercial insurance broker and a partner with Gallagher Insurance. Official title being senior VP. And I started with in insurance actually right out of university. So I've been given a variety of questions that you'd like me to talk about. What life was like before Student Works. I was again grew up basically in Woodstock, moved around a little bit, but in Woodstock, I was very athletically driven, but also enjoyed the academics, enjoyed school as well. Always was someone like to be participating in whatever went on. Um, when I went to university, wasn't sure because I like the sciences and maths, whether I would get into engineering or business. So actually went down the business path, went to Western, and so first year you kind of want to see do I have it within me. Guy named came in to the university, talked a little bit about Student Works, what an opportunity it was for him, yada yada, and so went down that interviewing process. Dan Sharp was the fellow that ultimately picked me and encouraged me to do it, and really quite happy I did. So coming into it, very unsure, uncertain, as most of you likely will be as well. Wanted to see if I had the personal skills, the problem solving skills that would be required in business. It's not, in hindsight, it's really not as difficult as most people would make you think it would be. But you do have to be somewhat quick on your feet. Um, so that would be my main reservation was that I have the work ethic, the smarts, um, the worldliness to necessarily to do it. Student Works puts you through a pretty thorough training. Certainly did at that point. I'm sure that hasn't changed. Chris will confirm that. Um, but the biggest thing I came out of it, you learn how to paint. That was obviously interesting. But the big thing you come out of is the sales process, learning how to sell. Um, you think you probably know it all, and that it wouldn't be that difficult. It'd be common sense, but there's a lot to learn and practice. Um, so once you've come out of that with the training, you really hit the road. You start doing your cold calling. I'm sure you have some new marketing techniques now. Um, but then you get out in front of your prospects, your prospective clients, and you have to learn. You're not going to win them all, but after you want to give at least a couple minutes thought, probably 5 minutes thoughts on why you were successful or were not, what you did right or what you did wrong. What are you going to learn from that and change going forward? Um, and so that's when you win the client. Once you have the client, though, you of course have to prove, perform what you've promised. And in my world, insurance, that's a big part of it. Anyone can come in and promise all these great things, but then if you don't perform, it's a very short-lived or unhappy client. Um, so you had to make sure you had good people, motivated people, and ones that have the same sort of care factor as you. And then you keep in touch with your client, make sure that they're happy, and therefore referring you to others. And that's a big part of it. Probably still do it, but I had a whole booklet of referral letters that continued to excel your growth. Much easier to sell a new client if you can show a number of happy clients in the past. Um, I still continue to use the sales techniques of that foundation that Chris and Dan Sharp taught me back over 20 years ago, almost 30 years ago. Wow. Um, every industry you have to tailor it a little bit to your own unique perspective, but that's the biggest thing that's carried me forward. The other thing you learn is the ability to read people. Um, the way they react to any questions or things you say. reading their body language or what they will say back can determine what your next best path are. Um, and in our kind of, it's not necessarily even the sales, but any sort of dealings with them, knowing how you are being perceived and they're reacting to it is a critical business importance. Um, and then from a production standpoint, meet what you promise. Overperform really what you promise. I tend to be understated. I tend to want to give an idea of what I think I can perform uh, and commit to, and then meet at 100% of the time, and hopefully you're exceeding it. So you're 120, 130%. Chris asked the one question of would I recommend the this organization and this process to anyone else, and absolutely I do. I've encouraged a number of people to get into student works after me. Two good friends of mine, actually I guess three good friends of mine, became managers of my same region, and my brother did it as well, but I think he was in the Aurora. So I have referred it to a great deal of people, anyone that I come across. um, it's such a valuable experience to learn how to read others, but also get to know yourself and what drives you, and what you have internally from work ethic, the ability to learn and react. Um, so fantastic experience. I would highly recommend you try it. Come in though giving your 100%. It's going to be a lot of work, but it can be very financially beneficial. But long term, what you learn is will stick with you for many, many years.